And the reason why he's captured is someone very close to him. His name is Judas, betrayed him for money. Somebody that Jesus spent almost every day of his life for 3 years with this man. And Judas traded him for just some money. And we think about the fact that somebody could betray a friend for only money. It's incredible that you would give his life over to be killed. You can't believe it. You think that that's a terrible thing for somebody to do. Then when Jesus is on trial in front of Pontius Pilate, Pilate looks at Jesus and he says, I don't see anything wrong in this man. And he's kind of confused as to how this man has been brought to trial for death. And so Pilate goes to the people, the mob. There's probably a crowd of people much like you guys right here. And if you can imagine, Jesus gets put up in front of you, and there's another man. His name's Barabbas. And Pontius Pilate basically says, I'm not going to condemn Jesus to the cross, but nor am I going to say that he is the Messiah. And so he leaves it up to the people, a bunch of people like you guys and myself. And the people see Jesus, and Pilate says, this man is innocent. He says, what will you have with him? And the mob just yelled, crucify, 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 as we sang in that song. The mob yells, crucify, crucify. And Jesus did not fight that. He knew he was innocent, but he willingly accepted the mob's cry to kill him. And he's got Barabbas on his left, who's an innocent man. He's not an innocent man, I'm sorry. I misspoke. I'm human, forgive me, sorry. But Barabbas is not innocent. He's a murderer at the very least. And he's on trial to be put to death. And the mob hated the fact that Jesus said he was the Messiah so much they wanted to get rid of him. And so Jesus gets sent to the cross. He's mocked and abused by the Roman officials, the Roman soldiers, the Roman guards. They blindfold him and they beat him, and they say things like, prophet, tell us who hit you. They mock him. They mock the fact that Jesus was God. And as he went to that cross, Jesus then went to that cross, and he's surrounded by other criminals. And the very fact that he's being nailed to that tree by Roman soldiers, the only reason why they were able to have strength in their arms, the reason why they were able to even have power to drive that nail to Jesus' hands, is because Jesus wasn't letting them. If you think about this whole story, Jesus practiced a lot of control. If you truly believe that he was God, you have to know that he was willingly allowing this to go on. Jesus was not a victim of a wicked justice system. He wasn't a victim to Judas and Judas' betrayal. He wasn't a victim to Roman soldiers that beat him and put him on a tree. He willingly was doing all these things. And I think that's something that we often forget, and I often forget, is that Jesus Christ willingly allowed all these things to happen. He was God. He had all the power in the world. The very fact that the mob had the voice and the strength to cry out against Jesus was because he allowed them to. The reason why Judas was able to receive any money and that he even had that thought in his mind is because Jesus allowed him to. You know, when Peter tried to stop the guards from taking Jesus, and he cut off one of the soldiers' ear, Jesus stopped him and said, if I wanted them to stop, I would have brought a legion of angels. He knew the whole way what he was doing. He knew the whole way what his purpose was. And his purpose was to go to the cross because those people in that story that did wicked things are sinners, just like you guys are, just like I am. And those people, Jesus was dying for their very sins on that cross. The sin of Judas' betrayal, he was going to the cross to pay for that sin. The mob's cry to put an innocent man to death, that sin in their hearts, Jesus paid for that on the cross. Their disbelief. Maybe some of you guys don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, but Jesus has died for your disbelief. He looked in your heart and he says, even though you don't believe that I'm the Messiah, I still love you and I gave my life for your sins because there's nothing you can do. And this story, this awesome story of sacrifice, a selfless sacrifice, is amazing. And we're amazed by it because our lives have been changed drastically. I want you guys to know that Even if you're struggling with your faith right now, is that your salvation is very real. Jesus really died for your sins, and He really did it because of His love for you, and because He's the only one who could do that. And those of you that don't have a relationship with Jesus, He has died for your sins. There's nothing that you can do that could separate you from Him. There's no sin so terrible in your life that Jesus isn't powerful enough that He defeated on the cross. He defeated the sins of Barabbas' sins. He defeated the sins of the crowd, the mob. He defeated the sins of the soldiers, the very people that put Him to death. So what would make you think that He can't defeat your sin? He did it on the cross most assuredly. This next song is about a number of verses in the New Testament. Well, one is in Romans 5:6. It says, "For just at the right time, while we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly." And this song's about how I was dead in my sins, and Jesus Christ made me alive in His life. This is the message that we believe is the truth.